just gonna show a TV show how to be the drug test? Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Tashi and I'm going to be doing a review on Euphoria. So let's start with Euphoria. What is Euphoria? Euphoria is the American adaptation of the Israeli show that goes of the same name. The plot, as I got from the HBO website, so everything's official, says, following a group of high school students as they navigate love and friendship in a world of sex, drugs, trauma, and social media. The series is executive produced by Drake and his manager, Future the Prince. Drake? All episodes are written by Sam Levinson. Let's get to the characters and the breakdowns and the cast and who's playing who. We all know Zendaya, but yes, I'm reading it off my phone. Who gonna check me, boo? Exactly. So, Zendaya plays Rue, and it says, Rue is fresh from rehab. Rue has no intentions of staying clean, struggles to make sense of what the future holds until she meets Jules, an eclectic, intriguing new girl in town. Rue is fresh from rehab, has no intentions of staying clean, struggles to make sense of what the future holds until she meets Jules, an eclectic, intriguing new girl in town. Okay. Okay, Rue. Right. Also, Monday Apatow, sorry if I'm butchering your name, but she plays Lexi, and it says Lexi is Cassie's younger sister, whoever that is, but we'll get to that, and Rue's level-headed childhood friend who tries her best to support Rue through her struggles. Okay. We got Angus Cloud, who plays Fesco, through a high school dropout drug dealer. Fesco has a big heart and cares deeply about Rue's sobriety. Okay. I don't know how you care deeply about her sobriety if you're probably going to be her drug dealer. I see we got a conflict in character already. So we got Alexa, who plays Maddie. Maddie is confident, combative. Maddie is Nate's on-again, off-again girlfriend and finds herself bearing new weight of Nate's emotions. Alright, Alfred. I already saw episode 1. She annoying. Point blank, period. She annoying. Fesco, my favorite character. Love him. Cute as hell. All that. Jacob plays Nate. Popular and the star quarterback. Nate has good looks, social status, anger to mask his emotions. Okay, Nate, fine as hell. Fine as hell, my type, football players. He is an asshole. He need to get his life together. Woo child, because he got some deep-rooted issues. Okay? Barbie Ferreira, shout outs to my plus size supermodel Barbie. She played Kat. Kat is one of Maddie's friends. Kat starts the school year looking to change her reputation, takes difficult circumstances, and turns it into an opportunity to explore her sexuality. Okay. We got Nika King. She plays Leslie. After losing her husband, Leslie takes care of Rue and Gia on her own. She's a loving, caring mother, navigating how best to help Rue after her overdose. Okay. Storm Reed plays Gia. Gia is Rue's sweet, supportive younger sister. She still looks up to Rue despite her addiction. When I say they got the casting right when they cast Storm Reed as Zendaya's sister, first of all, they look like they birthed by the same person, okay? Whoever did the casting, A1. A1. You did your job. You did your job well. You did your job. Hunter plays Jules. Jules is searching for where she belongs in the new suburban landscape. She recently moved from the city after her parents' divorce. Okay. Vague, but okay. We have Algie Smith. And if you don't know who Algie Smith is, He played in The New Edition. He played Ralph. He was also in The Hate You Give. Like, Algie is really out here with these roles. Okay, Algie, I see you. And he plays Chris McKay. Known to his friends as McKay, the football star finds adjustment to college harder than expected as he struggles on the field and in his relationship with Cassie. Okay, so we already have two relationships already: Nate and Maddie, Cassie and McKay. Okay, cool. We got Sydney Sweeney, who plays Cassie, the sweet, popular Cassie. Difficulty navigating relationships as rumors of her sexual history circulate the school. Here we go. We got another rumor going around about some girl and how it affects her reputation, but it happens in every high school, so it's very on par. Okay? So, oh, an honorable mention, that's his little brother. Whoever this little boy is, I live for him. I lived at the fact that he's like 7 and selling drugs and counting his money and he's all thugged out, but he like 8. Like, what type of little... First of all, the show is set in the suburbs of Tampa, so the fact that these are little white boys selling drugs, and let's talk about the casting. Although, let's get to it. Alright, y'all already know what I'm gonna say. Well, y'all might not. Okay, so about the casting. They did great when casting siblings, like Storm Reed as Zendaya's sister. Like, that was spot on. However, there's only one other black person in this cast, and that's Algie Smith. Okay, I have an issue. There's only one black boy. Kat is Hispanic in real life, but in the show, it shows that she's Hispanic as well, but I don't see any dark-skinned characters. Like, I don't see nobody my skin tone or darker. Like, there's no dark skin, but there's no black female, because Storm Reed and Zendaya, although they are black, yes, but they are mixed race at the same time. And the only black character that is a female in this show is Zendaya's mother. I'm like, you can't really depict high school settings in a group of high school, and it's not even, they're not hitting the mark with the casting. Like, I don't see no Asian person. Like, it's just white and black, and then even the black people are light skinned. Like, come on now, casting. I'm gonna need you to do better. Next season, I'm gonna need you to cast somebody new, somebody darker, somebody Asian, I don't know, some Korean, somebody Chinese, somebody Japanese, somebody Indian. I need somebody Mexican out in the streets. Somebody like Venezuelan out in the streets. I need you to depict all different types of people out there. Need more diversity in this cast. You know, I'm gonna need a little bit of spice over here, a little spice over there. You know, but you did a great job for what you got so far. You know, just little tweaks that need to be done. All right, let's get into the first episode. Okay, so in the first episode, it starts off with Rue being born. Okay, it shows that she's birthed right 3 days after 9/11, if I recall correctly, which gives the precedence of the world that Rue lived in, what she grew up in as a child. Post 9/11 world where Generation Z is all about, you know. So, or, you know, the millennials. Wow, I need to get it together. I can't talk. But, so, she's born, her parents are in the hospital, seeing the towers go down over and over and over again. And then it pans to Rue as a child. She's counting windows in the ceiling of her suburban home. Her mom's trying to get her attention. Rue's like, yeah, no, about these windows. So her mom takes her to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist diagnosed her with everything under the sun. She's borderline bipolar. She's bipolar, but they're not sure because she's too young to tell. She has anxiety. Like, she has all these things. And then the next clip is she's being medicated, and I have an issue right there. And that's what I like about the way this show goes to. In the black community, or with black children in general, or with black people, they are very quick to medicate children instead of giving them therapy. Like, okay, Rue 8 years, 8 years between the years 8 and 12. She says she can't remember because she's on drugs that is prescribed by her psychiatrist, where she could have just got, you know, therapy, counseling. Like, what 8-year-old needs medication unless extreme cases? Shame on you, shame on society, but I like how the show depicts that that's exactly what's going on. Right? Okay, so her mother shows, like, she gives her pill. She's explaining all the people who have what Rue has, and girl, everybody with Rue's diagnosis is batshit crazy or misunderstood. Like, all these famous artists and serial killers and fucking Britney Spears, and then they show the clip of Britney Spears in 2007 with her bald ass head wilding out in these streets. Like, and that's who her mom was like, oh, all your faves have the same thing as you. No, bitch, that's not something cute. That's not cute at all, right? And then it shows Rue having a panic attack in school, and she's laying on the floor thinking practically in the worst mental state of her life, and all the kids around her have cell phones out. I've been through that growing up in school, that in my generation the first thing we do is pulling out phones, and we're not necessarily concerned about what the person is really going through. So, and that shows what Rue's going through as in her childhood and in early teenhood. So in her early teenhood, you know, she's going through body image issues, and then, you know, it shows that she's starting to, you know, dive into drugs, and nobody really has time for that. Like, no, her mother, and also what people didn't realize, but I'm pretty sure they did, but like what they didn't, the show didn't necessarily put emphasis on, but one minute her dad's there, and the next minute when it shows Rue and like her age nowadays, her dad's missing. Her dad's gone. And I'm assuming, since the story breakdown says that her mother is raising Rue and Gio on her own, I'm assuming either her dad died or left. It says that when Rue comes home from rehab, first of all, while in rehab, she don't give a damn about them exercises. They got this little exercise where they got there's a mirror inside her coffin to indicate that, you know, if you keep doing drugs, your ass gonna end up dead. Point blank, period. So, if Rue don't give a fuck, she looking at the casket like, okay, and okay. So yeah, so she does the exercises, not really excited. She leaves, and on the drive home, she sees a girl on a bike. And Rue's narrating the show, and it shows, and she says that that's Jules, although present time she doesn't know that yet, but that's who it is. And Fezco, or Fez, I keep calling him Fezco, when Rue goes to him to get more drugs, 5 seconds out of rehab. I know, shame on her, but she said she had no intentions of staying sober, and she meant that shit. So Fez is like, yeah, I saw this new girl around town. She out here looking like she fresh out of an anime, and you know, that was like, I was thinking to myself like, yo, Fez done foreshadowed a friendship between Rue and Jules. So then it pans to Nate and McKay in Nate's car, and they see Jules riding her bike, and basically Nate sexually harasses her. She falls off the bike because he's yelling obscene things to her, and they're discussing McKay's throwing a party, right? Which is about to be the rager that starts the year. We first meet Nate when Rue is going to pick up her drugs from Fez and his little brother. And we see Nate and McKay at the store, and that's where she introduces Nate's character, who she's just like, yeah, he tried to do some wild stuff to me on the dance floor, but I'm over that. I still go to his parties, but I never had an issue with him until the situation with Jules, which foreshadows an issue between Nate and Jules. But I'm just like, what she said, I'm just like, okay, that's terrible. But a lot of females, especially young women growing up in this world where sexual assault is the norm. And I like how real they depict these things in this show, but still, that's a red flag. But I like how they got into that subliminally without actually diving into it. Meet Maddie and Kat in Maddie's room. They're talking about Kat breaking up with Nate and how she needs to find a new man, how she needs to get over one boy, she needs to get under another, according to Kat. And then they start making fun of Kat for being a virgin. And we go to Rue and her mother argue about where Rue went after she comes home from getting her drugs. Her mother, they get in an argument about where Rue is because she's fresh out of rehab and she already gone missing. She already gone for hours. Like, and also shows the dynamic of their relationship. And then Rue's mom was like, I hope you know I'm drug test you. I'm gonna drug test your ass. You think you slick? You're not. Rue then gives us the 411 on how to be the drug test. I have issues with that because y'all just gonna show a TV show how to be the drug test. She goes through all the different ways to be the drug test, and most of the options are out of her range. So she decides she's gonna get fresh pee from a non-drug user. So she runs down the block to her friend Lexi's house, right? She gives the explanation of how her and Lexi's been friends since preschool. Yeah. And then she's like, Lexi, look, sis, I really need your help. I really need that pee. So yeah, I won't get in trouble, right? She meets, and then there we meet Lexi's mom. We get a brief glimpse of Cassie, though we do not know that it's Cassie at the time because Cassie is Lexi's older sister. So then we go back home and we get the drug test, and Rue's on the toilet crying because her mom's like, you know how much you put this family through. Yeah, shows the scene of Rue's drug overdose, like vomit everywhere. She's practically dead on the floor. Her sister finds her. It's so crazy. It's so traumatic. Like, and I was just like, whoa. Well, okay, Zendaya. She said, we're not in Disney no more, honey. Sweetie, I am an adult. This is not Spider-Man. This is not Shake It Up Chicago. This is not Casey Undercover. It is none of that. we find out Jules is trans. Like, everybody's, you know, getting ready for the party. We find out Jules is trans. She's shooting up her estrogen, you know, minding her business. We see the little scrape from when she fell off the bike when Nate was sexually harassing her and giving her cat calls. And yeah, you know, Jules is in her room. She's online. She's talking to guys. Don't really know what the messages are saying, but, you know, we see a lot of naked men. We see a lot of shirtless men. Then Jules goes to hook up with this guy that she met online called, I think, Dominant Daddy, right? She goes to this sketchy hotel. She jokes about how she hopes the guy's not a serial killer, and she proceeds to hook up with this sexy, fine older man, right? And that scene is very graphic as well. So then we meet the rest of the guys. McKay and Nate are at McKay's house. They're pre-gaming for the party. You know, McKay's talking about how he has a crush on Cassie, and they're just like, no. We don't like Cassie. She a hoe. And then proceed to show McKay Cassie's nudes and a sex tape from another guy's. And then Rue's narrating the show, and she's all talking about how toxic little boys are in high school and how, like, quickly they are to, like, pass around these girls' nudes. She's honestly not wrong because, you know, growing up in my high school, like, girls were sending nudes. Like, paper boys is dishing out papers on a Saturday morning. Like, news is everywhere. Like, everybody's news is being leaked. How many celebrity news have you seen is being leaked? Hell, Bella Thorne and Whoopi Goldberg are having a mini little situation because Bella's nudes got leaked, I think, again. But yeah, so we're at McKay's party now, right? McKay they convinced McKay that, especially Nate, to quote unquote treat Cassie like the whore she is. And then McKay, you know, he's vibing with Cassie at the party. They're flirting or whatever. They get up to the room, and then they have this very awkward sexual encounter, because from the perceived notion that McKay got from his friends and the videos and the news, he thinking Cassie's this wild old freak. It's a very awkward encounter. So we're at the party, and Maddie and Nate going tit for tat. Nate's kissing a girl, Maddie's kissing another guy. They are looking at each other from across the party like, I know you see me, They're basically having a race on who can get jealous the fastest. Right? Yeah, ain't no problem. Ain't no problem. So they proceed to hook up in the pool. And Nate loses his mind. He starts drinking even more than what he was doing. Then it goes to Kat. Kat's in the room with these three guys, McKay's twin brothers, and some other boy, right? Kat's fronting about how she's a wild freak, even though she's a virgin. And they're just like, oh, dare you take off your shirt? She's like, alright, bet. Yeah, so it alludes that something goes down in the room after she takes off her shirt. I'm just like, honey, what are we doing, right? Then we go to in the kitchen. Jules pulls up to the party. She's looking around, yada yada yada, whoop whoop whoop. She clearly is out of place because, you know, she's the new girl in town. We have angry old Nate, who, you know, is clearly in his feelings about Maddie. He then proceeds to start to harass and bully Jules. He's like, who are you? Did anybody in here know you? Everybody like, nah, we don't know her. He then proceeds to like still harass her, and then it goes to Rue and Fez. They're on the couch at the party having a conversation, and Fez makes a statement about how Rue's sobriety and Rue's addiction really scared him, especially when he found out that she overdosed. Clearly they have a much deeper relationship that the show is alluding to, right? So then we go back to the kitchen where Nate and Jules are, and Nate's still harassing her, and, you know, he's getting up in her face, being very aggressive. And first of all, this is where I wish he would get in my face like that. He would have got whoop, 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 and it would have connected real quick, period. Like, oh no. Jules is scared. And then she gets in this fight or flight moment, and she grabs a knife and was like, you want to come for me? You want to come for me? Okay, you think I'm crazy? I'll show you crazy. She like slices herself in the arm, show that she really crazy. She wild out. And then everybody is like in the kitchen just looking at her like, yo, she crazy. Everybody's amused. Rue's even impressed and amused at the same time. She runs out Jules runs out the house. Rue follows her, and Rue's like, hey, that was pretty badass. And Jules was like, word. And then Rue's like, so where you going? Jules like, I'm going home. Like, clearly, I ain't want you here. And Rue's like, so can I come? Can I come with you? And then Jules like, yeah, girl, let's go. And they go back to Jules' house. And I'm just like, Jules, I'm confused here. You don't know her, she don't know you, but yet y'all going back to each other's houses? Okay, apparently that's what we doing in the suburbs in Tampa. But it's Florida. I've seen more confusing things coming out of that state than this situation. So they go back to Jules' house. You know, they're in their little pajamas. They take off their clothes. Well, they're more so in a t-shirt and underwear. And Jules is just comfortable in her body. Like, sis is like, yeah, I'm trans, and what? And I got these pretty pink panties on, so what's up? Right? And, you know, they're being friendly. You know, Rue tends to her wounds, her cut, and yeah, they just blossomed this newfound friendship. And then like Rue's all like, hey, wanna get high? Was like, didn't you just get sober? She's like, forget all that. So you want to get high? And then like the cinematography in this show is so beautiful the way they depict Rue being high. Like when she was in a party, like, and she was taking drugs, like the room was rotating, she was on the ceiling, she was on the wall, everything was upside down, like we were in the upside down, like Stranger Things. Like and when she took drugs this time, the hues went from red to blue to purple, like glitter everywhere. It made being on drugs beautiful, but don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. And like she's just like, yeah, drugs are pretty cool. And then in that moment of like the hues of being high, so beautiful, like Jules is all sparkly with glitter, everything's all pretty, and then immediately Rue like just cuts in and was like, yeah, drugs is all cute and fun until you overdose and almost die. Like, point blank period. And yeah, and then like it goes back to like showing everybody, and it shows Nate's dad coming home, or some guy coming home, and it turns out to be Nate's dad, and it turns out it's the same guy that Jules just hooked up with in this sketchy hotel, which I'm just like, oh my god, oh my gosh, this is going to get crazy. Because then it's like, all right, cool, we already have a future situation between Nate and Jules that's about to happen, and clearly Jules just hooked up with Nate's dad, so this is going to get real interesting. Like my mind went a mile a minute. I'm trying to predict the show. I'm just like, what's going to happen? But I can't wait to see how this show progresses. Like, this show is great, from the cinematography to the plot to the characters. Everything's great. Hell, the music. Okay, Drake did his thing as executive producer with this music, because you can tell he had his foot in these music scenes. Like, oh my gosh, we had Megan Thee Stallion, Lil Wayne, the Migos, like Beyonce in the first 10 seconds. Granted, she was like there for all but 2.5 seconds, but you know how much money they had to cost? That had to cost, because Beyonce don't cost no pretty penny. Like, and a pretty penny is a lot. Beyonce costs buku money, okay? And I'm over here sitting here like, how in the world is HBO affording this? Especially after the final season of Game of Thrones. You know how much money those CGI dragons cost? For Drogon and all the other Daenerys children? Like, they cost a lot. So I was like, I know Drake had to call up his buddies and was like, bring Beyonce, I'm gonna need you to do this favor. Bring Lil Wayne, I'm gonna need you to do this favor for me. Migos, and I'm gonna need you to do this. And they're like, yeah. And like, oh, I just love this show. I can't wait for this season to progress. Honestly. Truly. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my channel. I will be following this series and making reviews and reactions to this show. Also, please let me know if you guys want me to react to other shows. I probably want to do a reaction and review of the new Scream that's coming out on VH1, and it has Tyga in it. It has CJ Wallace, which is Notorious B.I.G.'s son, like, has Keke Palmer in it, and it's different from the other adaptations of Scream, the one with Bella Thorne, and from MTV, or especially the Scream from Fox that also had Keke Palmer, and it had Emma Roberts and Ariana Grande. So just let me know what shows you want me to review. Thank you for coming to my channel, and see you next time.